Before we begin, no, I just wanna invite once again each and everyone na nandito po sa ating community. We are celebrating our 10 years. And the reason why we have OFCON is because the 10th pag sinabi mo kasing 10-year anniversary, that's redundant. Yes. So, the 10th anniversary ng OFCON is happening on September 13. Actually, January 31 po talaga yung unang araw na itinatag yung ating community. And we were thinking of like giving a celebration and a conference kasi hindi lahat ng mga community ay tumatagal ng 10 taon. Tama ba? Let alone na nakatayo pa rin siya, standing strong, and malaki at malakas yung community at very active siya. Okay? So again, OFCON is September 13, Saturday, the following Saturday. So if you don't have a ticket yet, that's ofconph.com. We are going to give you a value-packed conference na para kang nasa isang mastermind na nagbayad ka ng 20,000, 30,000, 50,000. Kasi yung mga mentors po na kinuha natin dito are really paid na malaki talaga yung mga professional fees nila pagka nagtuturo sila, nagme-mentor sila. And for the love of the freelancing community, they said yes to us. Ang binayaran lang natin yung venue, na yung mga ganyan, very parang pamigay yung service nila dito. Kaya we thank the speakers, yung mga mentors na talagang nagbigay ng value for our community. Okay, so hindi na natin patagalin. Let's go ahead and talk about let's talk about our topic for tonight. This is the income ceiling that no one talks about. So, ano ba yung income ceiling, coach? Yan. So, pag-usapan natin. Pag sinabi nating income ceiling, um, yung, para sa akin, yung definition nito is, nandun ka sa point na kahit na sobrang sipag ka, yan, raise your hand if you're masipag, or type 1, parang nasa Zoom lang, no, nasanay nang nasa Zoom. Yan, yung point na kahit na gaano ka kasipag, parang hindi ka pa rin makaalis dun sa range of income. Yan, no? Parang meron siyang invisible wall. Nangyari na ba yan sa inyo? It happens to me as well na hindi ka nakakaalis dun sa range. For example, your monthly income is 30,000 or 50,000. Freelancing to ha. Magkaiba naman yun sa employment kasi sa employment, alam natin na very steady income dyan. Yeah. So steady siya doon. Pero kasi pagka naging isang freelancer ka, ano yung advantage ng mga freelancers sa atin? Hi, Era! Ano yung advantage natin as freelancers? We can command our own rates. We can dictate and bahala ka kung gusto mo ngayon ay $10, the following week $12 na depende sa project, depende sa client. And walang law na nagbabawal sa'yo na mag-increase ka nito kasi kaya nga siya freelancing, 'di ba? Kaya siya independent contractor ka. Para tayong mga lawyers, doctors, ganyan, no? Na if 'di ba minsan yung mga doctor magkakaiba sila ng professional fee, depende na may mga 2,000 per consultation. Pag mas specified yung specialty ni doctor, mas mataas yung fee niya, 'di ba? Kapag consultant, natapat ka sa consultant at siya talaga yung kausap mo, mas malaki yung fee, 'di ba? So some charge. Magkano ba yung consultation ngayon? Like 1,000, 'di ba? Minsan nag-charge ng 2,000. Sa amin ang pedya namin for the development pedya is about 4,500 per hour. Ganun siya kalaki kasi very konti sila. So, ganun din siya sa freelancing, no? Sure, you can set like a standard or check mo yung ibang mga freelancers how they charge based on the market. Pero ikaw, as sa sarili mo, walang nagsasabi sa'yo ng limit. So, sky is the limit. That's what I love about freelancing. Because ikaw yung may control. Unlike sa mga, halimbawa, nagtrabaho ka sa call center or sa BPO or sa government or private, even yung salary increase doon ay nakadepende sa standard ng company, di ba? Ng HR. I remember when I was in BPO, ang increase ko lang kada year is 1,000 pesos. Annual. Malaki na yung 2,000. Yung 2,000 para yun sa mga star agents. So imagine, nagpakahirap ka, no, puyat-puyat, ganyan, bawal late, bawal absent. Yung even 1 minute na malate ka, nawawala yung attendance bonus, di ba, ganun sa BPO. So all in all, nakakap siya dahil merong mga ibang kasama mo na BPO agents na standard pare-pareho kayo ng sweldo. Pag nag-transition po kayo sa freelancing, hindi na ganun. Siyempre, may mga ibang cons yan, no? Like yung skills mo, how do you really offer, yung negotiation mo, paano ka makakahanap ng client. But again, let's talk about the topic, the income ceiling. Ito yung point na kahit nag-aano ka kasipag, parang hindi siya tumataas. Nagtataka ka, bakit kaya yung mga client na na-attract ko ay pareho lang yung rate? 'Di ba? You've been dreaming of finding this um a very premium A client, kumbaga, no? Pero parang hindi mo siya makita. Parang hindi mo mahanap. And all the time, nahahanap mo lang is yung mga range lang na meron ka ngayon. And I know a lot of us can relate to that, no? So for example, you are earning 50,000, 60,000 a month, and that's what you're still getting. No matter how hard you work, parang bumabalik din siya sa parehong level. So that is what we call the income ceiling. Kumbaga, meron siyang nandun sa ulo, hanggang doon lang siya. Bakit hindi mo siya ma-break, 'di ba? Yun yung tanong natin ngayon. At paano natin siya ma-break? Ang kinaganda ng webinar natin ngayon ay dahil hindi kulang yung effort mo, hindi rin dahil hindi ka magaling, hindi rin dahil hindi ka nag-upskill kasi parang nakuha mo naman na lahat ng mga courses na meron. Tama ba? Seminarista ka, lahat na ng course na makikita mo, inaaral mo naman talaga siya. But there's just something about the income ceiling. Yan. Hi, Lovina. So, it's because of three things. Number one is your mindset. Number two is your systems. And number three is your positioning. Okay, so write that down. Sa mga manonood ng replay, you can also write the notes, okay? So ano yung tatlong yon? Again, mindset, systems, and positionings. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the mindset ceiling. Mindset ceiling. This is what I deserve. Do you always say that to yourself? Even unconsciously, even subconsciously, you as a person has a ceiling. Tama ba? Subconscious belief na kahit maliit lang ang worth mo, I mean, maliit yung worth mo sa client na to, sa area na to, sa freelancing, kaya hirap ka rin na mag-charge ng mas malaki. Because you know, parang ikaw mismo sa sarili mo yung naglagay ng block. Kasi in your mind, pang $10 lang ako. In your mind, pang $3 lang ako. Parang imposible sa akin na magkaroon ng fixed price. Palagi lang akong naka per hour. Again, subconscious belief na maliit lang ang worth mo kaya mahirap mag-charge ng tama. And later on, we will give recommendations pa paano natin siya i-remove. Okay? Another mindset ceiling is yung diniscuss din natin kahapon. Natatakot kang magtaas ng rate kasi baka mawala yung client. Natatakot kang mag-offer ng mas malaki because you feel that this client will say no to you. You know, there is also what we call negotiation in behalf of the freelancer and the client. So, for example, you bid $1,000. And then, what I also teach the other freelancers before, nung nagtuturo pa ako, sometimes, for example, sa Upwork, meron ka dong makikitang mga range ng mga freelancing, di ba? If you are in a premium, nagbabayad ka ng Connect, you will see the other bid ng mga ibang freelancers. So I want you to stay in the middle. You're not the lowest, but also you're not the highest. So nandun ka lang sa saktong range. So you can research about that. For example, SMM. Ano yung mga common range ng mga SMM na nakikita mo doon? Kung wala ka naman sa platform, katulad ng Upwork nga, um, well, you can ask ChatGPT, di ba? Kung maghahanap ka ng mga clients sa labas, sa mga Facebook communities, sa LinkedIn, Mag-scout ka, meron kang email marketing campaign or whatever, or sa Instagram ka naghahanap, no? May mga group ng mga clients na nandun sila. If you offer them and you don't know magkano yung rate na pwede kong i-charge dito, you can always ask naman. You have AI now. You have ChatGPT. So exhaust these AI kasi pwede mo namang makita doon ano yung range ng mga common na salary or project pricing ngayon. And then you stay in the middle. Again, not too low and not too high. But ang problem natin kasi dito, natatakot ka magtaas ng rate. So, pwede ka kasing maglagay ng mataas na bid. Syempre kasi si client tatawad. Diba? May mga ganon. May mga instances na tinatanggap agad nila. Okay, sure, diba? Parang okay naman yung approve agad sa kanila yung budget na pinresent mo. Pero most of the time, syempre si client, hanggat makakatipid din sila, nagtitipid din. So they would counter offer. And I learned this the hard way too. And I'm still in the process of learning this as well. Yung art of negotiation, no, yung magbibigay siya ng ganitong range, you counter and then you meet halfway kung ano yung price na mapag-aagrihan ninyo. So don't be afraid to ask a little bit higher. Challenge yourself that you can do more. Parang ano lang, siguro kasi yung fear nagsisimula siya kapag sobrang attached ka. Like you so wanted this client so badly that you don't wanna mess it up. Na ayaw mong mag-mess up even sa interview. Gusto mo siyang makuha agad. Meron kang tight grip doon. No, ang taas ng stress mo kasi kailangan ko tong makuha. Kailangan kong makuha yung project na to. I want you to practice getting clients as well na for fun lang. Gusto mo yan? Yung wala kang masyadong attachment sa kanya emotionally. Na ang ibig kong sabihin, whatever happens to this client, I may or may not get this client and I am okay. When was the last time you went to an interview na ganun yung mentality mo? That no matter what happens, I may or may not get this client, I'm okay. It's okay. Yung hindi ka iiyak mamaya. Pagkatapos ng interview ay sayang hindi ko nakuha. What was wrong with me? Anong mali sa akin? And then you try to recall anong nangyari dun sa conversation ninyo. Saang part ka pa medyo sumablay, 'di ba? Anong kulang? Hindi pa ba ako sapat? Nag-emo ka na ganyan. So just practice as well. No, if you really care and really serious about getting your freelance clients and you really want to be in this game. Ang dami kong mga nakakita na gusto talaga nilang mag-freelance, 'di ba? Gusto nilang maging VA, gusto nilang maging funnel builders, gusto nilang lahat na, 'di ba, na AI automation. Pero hindi naman nila ginagawa yung sapat na action to una mag-aral ng skills. Pangalawa, really go out there and find clients. So, after 6 months, sasabihin mo, naghahanap ako ng client. Pero wala pa rin akong nakukuha. 'Di ba? Ang daming ganyan. Dito lang sa off, sobrang daming ganyan. The question is, how many times ka nag-bid? How many times ka nag-pitch? How many times ka nag-send ng proposal? Kasi these clients are not coming to you unless meron kang magandang funnel, meron kang website, meron kang you have your way talaga, you have a system in place na dun sila magbubook sila ng consultation sa'yo and then probably naka-market ka, no? Naka-ads ka, you're paying money to be all out there and promoting your content. Kung wala ka naman nung lahat ng yon and you are hoping na magkaroon ka ng client, I think hindi nagtutugma yung hope sa gusto mong mangyari. Tama ba? So, balik tayo doon, no? I encourage you. Ang question ko sa'yo ngayon is, how badly do you want it? How badly do you want it? Yung mas mataas na increase. Kasi 'di ba, gun to your head, kapag ka meron kang isang gustong mangyari na alam mong by hook or by crook gusto mong mangyari ito, gagawa at gagawa ka ng paraan to get that. Tama? So, same with your freelancing career. Now, again, yung recommendations ko kanina ay um, humanap ka ng oras na you're just gonna play around. Di ba yung mga bata, be playful siguro or be childlike sa pag-reach out sa mga clients. Yung binato mo lang yung ano, kasi di ba sometimes there is also this energy na kapag ka sobrang ano yun? Hindi kalmado. What's the opposite of kalmado? Kabadong-kabado ka. When you are kabadong-kabado sa interview, your voice, anong tawag doon, nag-shake siya. 'Di ba? And you cannot think clearly. Kasi, natakot ka na mawawala yung client. Ngayon, nagkakaroon siya ng effect kapag ka nai-interview ka, nabablock ka, na mental block ka na, hindi mo na alam. Kasi nga yung idea mo, yung utak mo, I wanna get this client. How about we remove the emotion? Detach ka dun sa emotion na I wanna get this. And again, I practice nyo yung, siguro kahit mga isang oras, no? Bato ka lang ng, ng pitch kapag may interview ka. Huwag mong isipin na, kasi pag desperate ka, nagiging reason siya minsan kung ba't na hindi mo siya nakukuha, di ba? Kasi yung client, ramdam niya yung energy mo, lalo na kapag ka naka-video call kayo, di ba? Every taas ng kilay mo, every ngiti mo, every kunot ng noo mo, kita yan eh, di ba? And remember, body language doesn't lie, di ba po? So, yun nga, ang recommendation ko siguro sa mindset number one is um, play around, be detached, and just get clients without the intention of getting it. Gets ba? Ayun lang. Parang, okay, try natin. Eh, paano kung nakuha mo, di ba? Di, yay! Pag hindi mo nakuha, di hindi ka malungkot. Tama? Ayan. So, sabi ni AG, hello, coach. You are very inspirational. Ayan, thank you. Yeah, you are welcome. Okay, so the reality is the clients pay what you believe you are worth. Tama. Kasi ikaw yung energy mo yung nilagay mo dun sa project eh. So yung energy mo ang magdidictate nung conversation ninyo, the way you pitch, the way you handle the questions. And if the client believes so that you are worthy of this kind of rate, then they will give it to you. 'Di ba? The higher energy wins. Pakisulat din po 'yan sa inyong mga papel, the higher energy wins. 'Di ba napapansin nyo sa negotiation, kapag nagne-negosasyon kayo sa kahit na saan, sa palengke. Pag mas mataas yung energy sa'yo ng tindera, hindi ka makatawad. Sa mga anak natin, di ba? Kapag ka sobrang gusto ng bata na, I really want this mom, I really want this dad. Minsan, yung energy nila, nararamdaman natin na, okay, sige, magi-give in ka na. Kasi, I want it so badly. Ganong level, di ba na? Pero hindi siya takot. Desidido siya. I'm gonna get this no matter what happen. Di ba? So, ganon. Okay, so that is number one. Number two, sa notes ko dito, sabi ko ay skill ceiling. Yan. Generalist overload. Nako, marami ditong tatamaan ito, no? Generalist overload. You know a bit of everything. Tama? You know a lot. Magaling ka. Sobra. Generalist. Ibig sabihin, wala kang specialized skill na nagko-command ng premium rates. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Again, you know everything pero wala kang specialized na skill na magko-command ng premium rates. Kapag pwede na ang service mo, pwede na. Ganun din yung bayad sa'yo. Gets ba? Pag pwede na, yung output na binigay mo, yung marireceive mo, pwede na rin. Pero kapag grand yung effort na binigay mo, grand din yung matatanggap. What you give out is what you get. Tama? Get in, get out. Ganun lang siya. Energy exchange siya. Yung freelancing po is like an energy to wala naman yung pinag-iba sa kahit na anong businesses. It's an energy exchange. So for example, for the doctors, 'di ba? Sino ang mas mahal maningil? Yung general practitioner, yung mga general doctors, or yung neurosurgeon? Sige nga. No-brainer. It's the neurosurgeon, 'di ba? Bakit? Specialista sa utak yun eh. Same goes with freelancing. No, I'm not saying that generalist is really bad. Kasi I've been there too, no? Iyan yung isa sa mga talagang inaral ko. Ano yung sinasabi nila? What's that quote about Jack of all trades, master of none. Ano nga yun? Nakalimutan ko. Can you please write down in the chat? Master of none, something like that. Yon. So, I was like that too. Marunong ako ng lahat ng mga bagay kasi inaral ko siya. And I was so obsessed with learning the skill. Tapos, I got lost in track. Ano ba talaga dito yung, yung i-fulfill ko? Ganyan. So, I thought it was okay. And there's nothing wrong. Pero kasi ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, yung context ng income ceiling. Okay? Yung context ng income ceiling ang pinag-uusapan natin. Kaya kino-compare ko yung generalist versus the specialized. Wala namang mali sa general services kasi even doctors have general practitioners. Gets? But again, kasi ang gusto mo ay matanggal yung income ceiling sa'yo, so mag-neurosurgeon ka. Kumbaga, di ba? In our own version of neurosurgeons, you get a very specialized skill na konti lang talaga yung nandun. Alam nyo ba, dito sa freelancing and sa mga bago sa freelancing ha, ang dami nagsasabi saturated na yung freelancing. Do you agree? Saturated na tayo dito? No. We have a lot of newbies. We have a lot of non-experienced freelancers. Yes, maraming freelancers. Oo. Milyon, oo. Pero yung expert, yung magaling talaga, konting-konti lang. Sobrang konti lang. At yun yung mga nakakakuha ng malalaking clients kasi they're so good at what they do. So, kailan ka pupunta dun sa bucket na yon? Over these people na magaling mag-edit, yung mga basic, no? Pero yung mga talagang expert sa expert, give yourself 6 months to really be obsessed sa pinili mong niche. For example, nag-AI ka, no? Napakalaki ng AI ngayon. And that is one of the most in demand talaga, which we're going to talk about sa OFCON. Ipapakita natin dito yung mga tools and hacks na pwede mong gamitin sa pag-acquire ng mga clients sa AI and automation, which is according to Upwork now, the term automation ay nagkaroon ng 14% increase sa job searches. Ibig sabihin, when you type the word automation sa Upwork example, you will encounter a 14% increase ng mga nagtatanong, naghahanap ng specific job search na to. So, kung gusto mong mag-jump sa freelancing, or switch ka ng niche, automation is one of the best and very lucrative ngayon kasi AI, everybody's talking about AI. Tama? And when are you going to jump? It's not in 2026 kasi nakikita mo yung development ngayon ng AI exponential siya, 'di ba? It's so crazy. Yung AI last year is not the AI that we have right now. And this is by far yung pinakapangit na AI na makikita mo ngayon is now in September. By December, ibang-iba na yung AI. Tama? So, napag-iiwanan na tayo kung hindi tayo mag-aaral. Okay? But, okay, dumalalim ako sa AI. I was so obsessed with that din kasi. So, last year, talagang inaral ko siya. No? I paid master classes, I paid mentorships, almost 500,000 pesos for those mentorships. So, malaki talaga siya sa akin. Pero ngayon, napansin nyo, may mga bago ngayon, yung Gemini, di ba? Ang laki nung update niya. So, every time may update si ChatGPT, may 5 na ngayon. Dati 4 lang. So, by December, siguro may 8 na. I don't know. Di ba? Ang daming mga nag-update. So, ikaw, andito yung ano, 'di ba nga sabi nila kung sige kung nasan yung pera, doon tayo. O ayun na, pinapakita na sa iyo, 'di ba? Sa Upwork 14% ang increase. Di ibig sabihin noon sa labas ng Upwork which is 20% lang ng mga client ang nandiyan. Yung 80% na sa labas, akala natin nagsisiksikan tayong lahat sa Upwork, no? Pero ang dami palang mga client na hindi naman talaga nila alam yung Upwork. Akala nyo ba ang lahat ng client alam tong Upwork? Hindi naman, 'di ba? Pero we boxed ourselves na dito lang tayo naghahanap. Ang dami nga doon. Eh, paano kapag skilled ka pa? Kaya mong ungusan yung mga ibang taong nagsisiksikan sa Upwork na kasama ka. Pero yung mga nagsisiksikan na yon, ikaw yung top of the line. Kumbaga, ikaw yung cream of the crop ng lahat ng mga nagbibid sa Upwork. Eh, di kuha mo yung mga clients. Kahit wag ka nang lumabas dun kung gusto mo yung platform na yun. Di ba? Sa LinkedIn, ganun din. There are so many people looking for you sa LinkedIn. The question is, when will you take this seriously? When are you going to really enhance your skills? Does it make sense? So, skill ceiling, generalist overload. Ayan. Okay? So, ang reality natin, no, pakisulat din po ito. I have a quotable quote for you. Especially, specialists, specialists get remembered. Generalists get replaced. Specialists get remembered, generalists get replaced. Because they're so easy. Diba? In a general pool, ang daming nyo dyan. But for example, sa coaching, di ba, ang dami namang coaches talaga. Pero yung mga taong certified silang mag-coach, certified silang mag-mentor, and they're even really, going abroad and finding certifications para maging legit sila na coaches and mentors, konti lang yung mga ganong seryoso na talagang nagpa-practice. So, ganun din. And then, syempre, yung mga katulad ng ganong coaches, like myself, I do get certifications and a lot of crazy things para lang, because I really take it very seriously. I get to command a lot of money compared to the other people who are selling their services ng 150 pesos. Because I don't do 150 pesos for consultation or for courses. My students know that they really pay a lot for that. But I really try my best to over deliver. Does it make sense? Same goes with freelancing. So you find yourself, be like that too. Be crazy, be obsessed in specialization. Okay? So pili ka, do your research. I can't tell you like, coach, ano bang maganda ngayon? It's case to case basis kasi siya eh. 'Di ba? Ako obsessed ako sa AI. Obsessed ako sa high level, sa mga automations kasi ginagamit ko rin siya bilang isang marketer and bilang isang business owner. Pero kung wala kang hilig sa mga ganyan, pero gusto mo design, 'di ba? Graphic designers and writing, then you go your path. Ano yung strength mo? Doon ka muna talaga magsimula. And there's nothing wrong with adding more skills. You should add skills na also aligned with what you have para mas maging specialista ka. Are you learning? Okay, and the last point that I have here is the system ceiling. So kanina, recap natin ha. Number one is mindset ceiling. Your clients, ay mamaya tayo mag-recap, sorry. Discuss mo natin yung pangatlo, sorry. Anyway, mindset ceiling. Number two, skill ceiling. Number three is the systems. System ceiling, the hamster wheel trap. Diniscuss din natin to a little bit yesterday. Wala kang structure para i-scale yung ginagawa mo. Do you agree with that? You have no system, you have no structure to scale what you are actually doing right now. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Lahat manual. Magmula sa pagkuha ng client, magmula sa onboarding, at hanggang sa delivery mo. Remember, your clients most of the time fall in under one category. For example, you are social media manager. Your clients are most of the time, probably, hindi ka lalayo sa niche na yon. Social media management, yung mga kinukuha mong clients, kasi dun ka may experience. You can't jump from SMM and then suddenly you go coding and HTML and CSS, di ba? So, vice versa. If you are in a website development or Shopify development, you get clients that are related to Shopify development as well. You don't jump from Shopify development to Wix or WordPress or yeah, a little bit relevant, but ano bang malayo sa Shopify development? Cybersecurity, di ba? Kasi there are two totally different worlds. So basically, yung feedback na nakukuha mo from your old clients are gonna be the same with Shopify development. Or you don't jump from Shopify development to real estate. Kasi nga, magkalayo yon. Most likely, ang matatarget mo at tina-target mo pa rin ay yung mga same niche. Kasi nagka-feedback ka kay client A, di ba? So si client A, ang ganda ng gawa mo ng website niya. So nag-feedback siya sa'yo, binigyan ka niya ng 5-star rating or magandang review. So yung review na yon, anong gagawin mo dun sa review na yon? Ipapakita mo siya, di ba? Maghahanap ka ng ibang client na katulad niya kasi meron kang testimony. Tama? So most likely, you are going to get the same client as hers kasi nagawa mo na yun isang beses and you did a great job. So most likely, you're gonna do another great job for client B, C, D, E, F, G. Pero lahat yan manual. Bakit wala kang process? Bakit wala kang onboarding na maayos? Bakit hindi ka nag invoice ng maayos? Do you know what I mean? Bakit yung delivery iba-iba? Okay? So, meron ka dapat SOP and pwede mo siyang ibigay sa clients na ito yung mga ginagawa ko when I acquire clients. So, kailangan mo ng system. So, pwede ka mag-hire ng VA mo. Kahit VA ka, may VA ka. Nakuha niya yan. Pwede kang kumuha ng mga assistant mo dun sa business mo. So, you are a Shopify developer or agency ka. Kumuha ka ng 10. Maybe si VA ang magsasend ng invoice. Maybe si VA ang magsend ng mga email notification sa kanila or automate it if you would like. That is also a system. But you don't have that. Do you? Yan. So, kahit gusto mong kumita ka ng mas malaki, kahit na gusto mong mag-scale ka, yung katawan mo, iisa lang, at meron ka lang 24 hours, just like me, and the rest of people here listening. So, your advantage would be the system. Maximize AI, maximize the tools that you have para nakakapagpahinga ka. Yung mga agency, kaya sila malaki yung kinikita nila, kaya sila nakakapag-onboard ng 10, 20, 50 clients kasi meron silang system. And yung client acquisition nila is very systematized to the point na lahat dadaan ng onboarding. Dadaan ng contract, 'di ba? Yung mga NDA, may template na 'yon, 'di ba? So, ipapadala na lang. And by the time na gusto mo talagang mag-scale, darating ka dun sa point na meron kang sarili mong agency. Kasi hindi mo na kaya. And to be honest with you, hindi mo talaga kakayanin yung 10, 20 na clients. You hire people for that. Does it make sense? So, without systems, you will always trade time for money. I want to ask you, hi Jim, sa lahat ng mga nasa live at nakikinig, what is more important? Time or money? Sige daw. Meron bang sasagot? O nga pala may delay ng 10 seconds sa live. Kaya I just want to engage with you as well. The correct answer is time. Diba? Alam niyo naman na yan. Why time? You can always get money back, but you can't get your time back. You can always generate money, but you cannot generate time. That's why systems and teams are very important for you as well. It doesn't matter kung one person agency ka lang ngayon, one man show. And that is actually one of the biggest mistakes I had when I was starting. I don't have any assistants. It's all me. It's so hard for me to delegate because my OC-ness, yung you need to meet the standard and the quality of my work and mabilis akong magtrabaho. Yung mga gifts ko, naging ano rin sila, double-edged sword sila. My gifts became my weaknesses as well. Kasi mabilis ako magtrabaho. So, alam mo yung level na, ako na lang, kesa ibigay ko sa iba, ako na lang magtatrabaho. Kasi so, simpleng edit lang naman yan. Tapos na. Diba? At least ako yung gumawa. That was a trap for myself that I had for a long, long while. Now I get to have assistants na talagang nagpapasupport na ako sa kanila and even hire people kung kaya ganun. And then also the disappointment of not good enough sila for myself. Yung parang nadi-disappoint ako sa outcome ni freelancer. So I just do it on my own. Pero hindi ko rin binibigyan yung sarili ko ng chance na mag-grow kasi I do it all by myself. So pag na-burnout ako, tigil din yung trabaho ko. Kapag nawalan ako ng gana, nagsistop din yung flow. Kasi ako lang siya eh. So ako yung magaling ako, pero ako din yung bottleneck. Ganun ka rin, tama. The problem of delegation. Kaya ngayon, sa mga nanonood nito at manonood ng replay na bago kang freelancer, and you really want to scale down the road, learn from my mistake. Learn from that. You really delegate as even the tiniest bit of things, you need to have a support. Because you can't do it all. Kapag nagkasakit ka, something happens, shit happens, nag-away kayo ni boyfriend, ni girlfriend, nagkasakit yung anak mo, or nawala yung kasambahay, or you just suddenly felt like ayaw ka nang gawin to, di ba? Everything will also stop. Kasi it's all you. Yan, okay? So system is very important. Hiring assistant is also part of your system. Okay? So again, let me recap the three. Are you learning so far? I'm gonna recap the three things, no? The three reasons behind the income ceiling. Number one, your mindset. Because you truly believe na yan lang yung available na rate for you and that's what you deserve. Subconsciously, yan yung sinasabi mong message. You are sending that message to your clients that this is what I deserve. It translates to your actions. It translates to the way you show up. It translates to the way you deliver your clients and your projects. Your clients will pay you on based on what you believe. Okay? So how do we practice this? Um, Affirmations work, and meditation too. You can do that. And then you will also be practicing pitching to clients na detached ka dun sa outcome. Di ba? Number two, skill ceiling. You are very generalist. So again, we had a comparison of general practitioner to the specialists, the neurosurgeon, di ba? Sila yung mas malaki yung consultation and yung per hour nila compared sa mga generalist. So my encouragement is that you be remembered rather than being replaced as a freelancer. And number three is your system ceiling, the hamster wheel trap. Without the system, you will always trade your time for money. Okay? So again, mga mini tips natin, breakthrough doesn't come from working harder. You are already working hard as it is. Rewire your mindset. I want you to see yourself as a premium freelancer. Kung may premium client, merong premium freelancer at ikaw yon. Kung merong world-class client, merong world-class freelancer. I want you to close your eyes and really internalize how does it look like and then act as if you are already that person. How does this person behave? Ano yung characteristics ng isang premium na freelancer? You be that person. Number two, sharpen your skills. Okay? You focus and you master. You be obsessed with being specialized in a very specific niche. Parang si ano ba yon? Yung I Will Find You. Nakalimutan ko na yung title ng movie na yon. So he's kind of like the daughter was kidnapped, diba? And then he's very specialized assassin. So I will find you, I will look for you, and you're basta ganon. So yon, sharpen your skill, focus, and master. And number three, build your systems. Para hindi ikaw ang gumagawa ng lahat-lahat, you get people to support you as well. Kahit isa lang muna. And then, as you go, as you grow, then you can find other people to support you. Okay, so have you been learning so far? And this is my segue to Ofcon, if you like these kinds of live every time, um, siguro tomorrow I will also show up again. Mag-live ulit tayo tomorrow kahit mga 30 to 40 minutes lang, no, to give you insights. Now again, I'd like to personally invite you to our conference. That's gonna be on September 13. Kung nararamdaman mo na parang meron kang invisible wall sa income mo, you are actually not alone. So a lot of freelancers are really experiencing this. Marami mga freelancers yung nasa stuck na dito, no? Pero hindi nila alam ano yung gagawin nila. The truth is, you don't need to be on that same level because there's a way para ma-break mo siya. There's an invisible ceiling and you can break that, which I already discussed with you the three things, okay? Um, we will go deeper sa Ofcon as we expose you to different kinds of mentors. That is part of their assignment from me to really give you ways to remove the income barrier. Okay? Ofcon is created exactly for this reason para matanggal yung mga income ceiling natin para matulungan kang makita kung ano yung ceiling mo. Binigyan ka namin dito ng mga tools, ng mga strategies and mindsets para once and for all, you break that barrier. Alright? Yan. So if you are ready for that, Ofcon is ready for you as well sa September 13. Again, yung ating site is ofconph.com, ofconph.com. So you have two options. You can have a general admission and you can have a VIP. Sa VIP, meron kang tote bag, meron kang mga, of course, mas nasa harapan ka, meron kang some giveaways and merch kapag naka-VIP po kayo. If you will not be able to meet it to be there in Manila, you can be on the live stream. So you be there as if you were in the live of Kwan. That is 1,488 yung live stream natin. That's via Zoom. We will be sending you the Zoom link. And number three, we have a special VIP lunch with me and John Pagulayan. So what's gonna happen is during the lunch break ng Ofcon, you will sit down with us. We are looking for 20 people. Actually, may mga nag-sign up na kanina. You will be looking, we are looking for 20 packs lang ng mga mag-join doon. The SVIP, the Super VIP is 6,000 pesos. But your perks is you will be in the lunch with me and John. You can ask questions. We can mastermind together. And yeah, of course, pictures. And you will be with us in tight. And then I'm also thinking of adding another value. I might have a separate session with you. I don't know if it's one-on-one or five. Kasi diba 20, divide natin siya sa 5, 5, 5 na kayo lang yung kausap ko. And then we're gonna do strategy session together. What's next for you? Something like that. So I might give you an hour coaching as well for those 20 na VIPs. Okay, mga super VIPs. Okay, so that's for me tonight. I will see you again tomorrow ng 8 p.m. with another topic. So, thank you so much for attending this live at sa lahat ng mga nagre-replay. I appreciate you and I hope na meron kang value na natutunan dito sa ating random live sa off. Ayan. So of course, I'll try to be more visible and try to support you in these ways para ma-break natin skills-wise, mindset-wise, yung thinking natin as a freelancer so that you can generate more income, of course, for your family and for your deepest why. Okay, so thank you so much for attending this live. I will be ending this na. Thank you sa mga nanonood ng live ngayon. You have a good night and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye now!